Hello, this is the Oracle Shariananda, and I welcome you again to my studio where today I'd like to talk to you about silence and the uses of silence. Many of you have relationships that go bad. Some of you have self-esteem or confidence problems that do not work for you. Some of you feel you do not know enough, so you do not speak. Today, we are going to speak of silence and how it can empower you to be aware of just how you use your silences. I am the Oracle Shariananda. I am a clairvoyant medium with telepathic powers and hands-on healing abilities. Many of you may know me from Oracle.com, or some of you may have known me in my past incarnation as Dr. S. Diane Adams Bogus. I welcome you to my videos, and I invite each of you to watch them often and support my work by telling others about the ministry of Shariananda. If you would like to contact me, you may do so at www.sdiane.com, or you may leave a message for me here or at Facebook, where you will find me listed under Shariananda or S. Diane Adams Bogus. Thank you. Silence. Many things and many songs have been written about silence. Some of the songs are the Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel, which is a quote that comes from our Holy Bible. And then there is the silence of the song, Let There Be Silence, as in Silent Night, or Silence is Golden. And then there is the Hush, Somebody's Calling My Name. These are all invocations to the apparent power of silence. Silence has been defined as the absence of sound. So when there is no sound to be heard, and there's no sound that you are willing to make purposefully or inadvertently, then there is no sound. Silence is also the abstinence from speech or noise. It is the avoidance of mentioning a thing. It is also the avoidance of betraying a secret. Silence can be a state of oblivion, where we speak often of the silence of the grave. And then there's the state of coercion, or the superior argument, where someone is silenced by another person's ability to come up with arguments or intelligent views that absolutely interfere with your ability to answer. And then there is not speaking or speaking very little, which is an indication of silence. And then there is saying or recording nothing, which is a way of being silent. But in our relationships, there is something to be said about silence that is sacred and silence that is manipulative. You will often hear people say, when you need answers, you should go inside yourself and listen for that still small voice. Well, the sacred silence is absolutely your inheritance from the divine creator. It is written in your molecules as to how to observe the silence of your own sacredness. And so that silence seems like this, where you take a breath, settle yourself into your heart chakra, and listen for the message that is there. And it may come to you as words. It may come to you as pictures. It may come to you as an impression. It may come to you as a knowing. But if you will utilize the sacred silence that you are by simply breathing into it, delving perhaps into your heart center or your solar plexus, or even at the third eye, then you will touch the sacred silence that is your God self, your perfect, absolute, eternal self that teaches and knows. But this is not a discussion of sacred silence. This is a discussion of the silences that interfere. Thomas Carlyle, in a book called The Everlasting Yea, said, "Speech is of time, and silence is of eternity." Indeed, when we talk in time and place, as I am doing now, it is good for that time and that place. But if my speech supersedes this time and excels and goes to 10 years or 20 years from now, let's say 2032, then I will begin a journey into the eternity of the spoken word, like the eternity of the spoken sound that vibrates ever on into the great unknown. Speech is of time, but silence is of eternity. We've heard from Charles Sainte-Beuve, who is a Frenchman who wrote "Mille Poisons," that silence is the sovereign contempt. And that is, if you do not speak to someone or of someone when that is called for, it is contemptuous. That is to say, to not respect another. Silence may be used contemptuously. But then Martin Tupper, in a book called Of Truth in Things False, has said, "Well-timed silence hath more eloquence than speech." So silence can be used as a manipulation. To speak or not to speak at a given time can make all the difference in a moment's outcome. Ben Jonson, in a play called Volpone, Act 2, in the 16th century, 17th century, said, "Calumnies are answered best with silence." This I cannot agree with, that when something of mayhem and inadvertent or unhappy consequence occurs, we best not answer it by being silent or inactive. It is our job to respond with our sympathies and with our caring. And last but not least, silence is said to be the best tactic for one who is distrustful of oneself. And Francois, the Duke of Fauchenfeld, said that. But I say unto you today that if you are in relationship, it is likely that you use silences as a withhold. When you are angry or unable to get through to the one you love, whether this is your parent, your loved one, brother or sister, neighbor or co-worker, you are likely to go into silence. That silence does not remedy the situation. It is a poor weapon to try to wield to get your way or to be understood. No one understands mind reading except for those of us who are telepathic. So I would recommend that in the matter of silence, that though fearful or sure that your anger will get out of control, or that emotionally you are not suited to say the things that are in your heart or written in your mind about the situation, the best thing you can do is to speak through the barrier of your own insecurity and your own fear of your own great emotions. You are a power being, And so the withhold is never a tool for you as a spiritual, powerful being who can speak his or her own truth. There is the silence of ignorance also. That is, you do not know and you do not want to be discovered. So in school and in any competitions that you might have, or even at work, you do not speak because you do not know. But the best remedy for that is to find out. Ask those in the know. Get in the company of those who would know. Go to the encyclopedia, the dictionary. Go to school. Find out what you need to know to be able to be strong and powerful and useful to others in your knowing. That is the purpose of this discussion of silence. In my relationship of late, I have discovered that one must speak through the obstacles and the anger or the misunderstanding and the confusion in order to find truth, no matter how hurtful that might be. And you are kind in your speaking. You keep your love in front of you. You speak through the love of your discontent or your disgruntlement or your depression, whatever it might be. Speak through your love. Your love will save you from your own silences and your repressed angers and discontentment. Silence is not golden in this instant. And then there's the silence of fear. When you are afraid, you grow quiet. When a little animal is acting on instinct, it ducks and hides and breathes very quietly so as not to be discovered. Are you an animal or are you a human being with a birthright of power words? And those power words include I am, I can, I do, I have, power, confidence, wholeness, clarity. So I invite you to discover your own potency, your own competence in speaking. Speak your truth. Modify your anger, but speaking will carry you away from silences that cripple you. A friend of mine who is now deceased, Audre Lorde, said, "Your silences will not protect you, so speak." Finally, if you would have self-confidence, if you would have a sense that you count, that what you say is important, speak against your silences. Do not let them manipulate you. Do not accuse. Do not point fingers. Do not make others wrong, but speak what is true for you. Say, I speak for myself. I don't know how others feel, but this is how I feel. Your truth will make you a spiritual warrior. It will raise you to walk among giants. This is Shariananda speaking with you about the idea of silence. Be whole, be well, be articulate, be aware that your word is the law in your universe. Speak it. Do not defile it with cursing or accusations to another soul. Bring your peace, bring your love, and so it is.